All right, here it is, the brand new DJI Action 6. Right now I have this macro lens on here just because I think it looks really cool. Almost as cool as I look right now with my little neck foam mount thing. Don't make fun of me. But usually it doesn't have this on here. A standard protective lens. First thing we'll notice is the larger sensor, but also an f2 to f4, which means a variable aperture in an action camera, something we haven't seen before. So plenty of interesting things to check out on this camera. Now DJI is a sponsor, so they gave me early access to this camera. We're gonna put it through some real world use, and at the end I will tell you my favorite and least favorite thing about this Action 6. But let me throw this macro lens back on because it is pretty cool. Here is the first shot we got with it.
God, that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
You could even hear it.
How close are you to the bird? Like 6 inches?
Close.
I think it was like this close.
Yeah,
because this hummingbird,
maybe 6 inches.
Okay.
this hummingbird is like this big. But I like the sound.
Yeah.
Sounds like a Star Wars.
Oh,
Shit.
the lightsaber.
You actually get a little depth of field. Look, the background's
Yeah.
blurry.
Oh yeah.
So macro lens combined with slow motion. It's so cool. Just like look at how it just like scoot forward.
The way their heads are like super stabilized, like on a gimbal.
240 frames per second. At least you could see it flat. It's crazy how fast they are.
So 240 what? 1080?
1080. Really, we need like 600 frames per second. We need the Ember. Full screen, you could see a resolution drop.
Look
What?
at his little tongue.
Was that his tongue?
Yeah,
Yeah.
his tongue was sticking
Yeah.
out.
Oh my god, that's its tongue?
Yeah.
Whoa! It's like,
That's how they get the nectar.
Yeah, that's how
Whoa.
they do it. When you put in a different lens, the macro doesn't know that you changed the lenses or no?
yeah, it did automatically.
Oh, that's cool.
Also, the larger 1/1.1 inch sensor in here is now a perfect square.
I like that.
I like that too. I think it's the future.
It is the future.
I feel like we're reaching the end of the days where we have to like decide, like, are we shooting for Instagram or for YouTube? Square, it's like, shoot for both.
So do you think cropping into that sensor will look the same as this true vertical here?
Should. We don't have to do that little vertical mountain crap.
Yeah, I hate committing to just one. Like,
I
when
know.
I get a really good shot, it's like, oh.
But also, when you have it as like a helmet mount, a lot of times you're estimating. So it's also really nice to have that flexibility to slide the frame up or down if you kind of miss your angle a little bit. But the big question is, does the image quality actually look better? So here we are on the brand new Action 6 as well as the Action 5 right next to it. Here's how it's looking. Less blowout right here in the sun. A little more detail on my face on the 6. So I think I'm seeing an improvement. Let's kind of explore different lighting here. Completely default settings, skin tones, face close up, backlight, front light. We definitely get more dynamic range.
Yeah, I noticed it more with the tripod.
The sexiest tripod in the world, of course, yes. Let's take a look at some low light though. More exposure out of the 6, but you can also tell the 6 is pushing harder.
Like it's lifting in the ISO a little bit more.
Yeah,
is what it looks like.
The 6 is definitely not afraid to boost, but you could also see a little bit of the side effects of like the noise come up a little bit with it. Again, this is all fully automatic on the camera. And then of course there's the low light mode called Super Night.
Action 5 has a super night mode?
Yeah. Well, have you never used it?
I've never used it. I didn't even know I had it. Yeah.
Haven't you been shooting on the Action 5 for years now?
but
You've
never
used
never
it?
super, yeah.
It makes a difference.
Oh.
You wanna know why you should use it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so this is my iPhone 17 Pro Max compared to the Action 6 in Super Night mode. Just look at the detail in the hair.
Like the windows up above in the building. They just look sharper. Yeah, I prefer the Action 6.
And when it gets really dark, you know, clearly way more exposure.
Yeah, I can't see anything on the 17 right now. Nothing.
But of course, this is the iPhone 17's ultra wide view. But let's say you don't turn on Super Night and you're just using regular D-Log-M. We're already seeing some grain on your face here.
Yeah, no, the iPhone 17 looks better.
Yeah, so in D-Log-M, the low light is actually not as good.
Yeah.
But you turn on Super Night and it leapfrogs it. But in Super Night mode, you have to be in 16:9. You cannot shoot 1:1 in Super Night mode.
Okay.
So there are these trade-offs. But how nice is it that you can just take a camera this size and put it in your pocket? It's like, oh, now it's a little vlog camera, right? So like, let's say you don't even want to wear these microphones. Here's a little vlog sample of when we were in Pasadena, and all of a sudden we started hearing
A bunch of these green parrots.
what? Red crown Amazons. Whoa, look how many there are. And they are loud. Whoa. It sounds like you're in the middle of the Amazon forest right now, but then it just looks like this. I have noticed once in a while the stabilization is better on the 6 in Super Night mode. 5, you sometimes see a little bit of that like movement jitter. Action 6 does seem to be a little bit better at smoothing out the stabilization. And then like looking at the tree, you definitely get more detail on the 6.
I think the color is more true on the 6.
Again, it maintains a little bit more highlights here. which I like. All right, so I got the macro lens on so I could bring the focus in and show you this little microphone which is connected to this camera right now. So this is what you look like right now, and I have you on face focus, so it should be pinpointed, focused on me, and maybe a little bit of background blur. I feel like this is a really awesome little minimalist vlog setup to, you know, capture things like me learning how to wheelie. Okay, I still don't know how to wheelie. I can get the front up, but I just can't keep it up, you know? Old man problems, I can't keep it up. Up we go, woo! Man, nope, wheelie time, I'm up. Oh, that's not bad, woo! Woo! All right, so how about we pop you over to chin mount now. Take a little tripod, fold it up. Woo! Here we go. We're up, we're up, we're up. And I can't. All right, let's get you on the handlebar now. Going up. Woo, woo. Ooh, I'm still up. Oh, that was the best one. Soon, I'm just gonna do an entire video just in a wheelie. You know, I'm just gonna be like, hey guys, welcome to another video. Well, I can't do that right now because otherwise I will definitely break my neck. What other fun angles can we do? How's this angle? So I'm gonna bring the focus in so you get the tire in focus. Here we go. Woo! Okay, 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 yeah, baby! Oh, that was not a bad one. Quality's not looking bad though, right? I mean, it's a gloomy day, and that's usually where a lot of action cameras will kind of fall apart. Like, all action cameras look great in direct sunlight, but today's a gloomy day. But I love the idea of having my entire vlog setup, including mics and selfie stick that I'm holding right now and all this other stuff, all fit into this little tiny fanny pack. And yes, I am wearing a little fanny pack. They're so convenient. Oh, look. I have a visitor. Oh, he's following me. Also, I have the mic just on my shirt magnetically attached. Going 20 miles per hour right now. How is the wind sound? I mean, I've been really impressed with the sound canceling of the DJI mic. So now here we are at 30. How does it sound? So these are definitely wide angle cameras, not telephoto lenses, but sometimes you're walking to lunch and then all of a sudden you see a fire and you're like, okay, well, let me stand back and zoom in a little bit. This does have a 2x zoom option, which is supposed to maintain that quality. Look at the detail difference. Look, see, you can actually see the fire.
Oh.
And then the firefighters above it. Firefighters are so freaking cool though.
That's a crazy job.
I think this is the first time I've ever actually seen firefighters roll up and put out a fire in a building.
Did you see them roll up?
Yeah, we're grabbing
Oh,
coffee
okay.
and we all just started rolling up and we're
Yeah.
like, why are there so many trucks here? And then we look over and see the smoke and be like, oh.
Okay, okay, okay.
But it was just like the movies, you know?
Yeah.
They roll up, backdraft soundtrack playing in the background, and they're walking in slow motion. I was very inspired.
Oh, okay, okay.
I think it's time for a career change because
you
my job will
saw
be
that.
replaced by AI soon. So the
Yeah.
dynamic range here. So if we look at the
people here in the foreground.
yeah. Also, if you want to stylize the footage and bake in a look into the footage, there's a bunch of filters. Like this is FD at 30%. So you have your filter and you could adjust how strong you want it to be applied, but also you kind of have to commit to it. So personally, I don't think I'd use it, but I did think it actually looks kind of cool.
Yeah, I also like that you can adjust the percentage on it as well.
Right, because if it's too strong,
It's
it's
too
like,
strong, yeah.
So there's a couple different filters. This is WT at 100%.
It's more vibrant.
This is NV, 30%. It does kind of feel deserty, but you can definitely see some loss in dynamic range, right? It's like crunchier. But also with film looks, no 1x1.
Oh, okay.
I'm guessing it's because applying these film looks, it requires a little bit of that processing. So you have to take it away from that 1x1 processing. But of course we have 10-bit D-Log M, and that will give us a little bit more flexibility with the footage, full access to the dynamic range. And I just applied the default LUT onto both of these. Definitely some color differences in D-Log M.
And that could also have something to do with the white balance, right?
Yeah.
Because it almost seems that the white balance on each of the cameras act a little differently.
Yeah, so apparently this thing up here is the white balance sensor.
Oh, is that right?
Here, my skin tones have a little bit more reddish. You see a
Yeah,
little
I
bit more
see
of
it
that
there.
pink in skin tones. And again, this is D-Log M with the default LUT. And I should also mention that this is still pre-production firmware, so there's possibilities of them tweaking on some of these things still. Sometimes you see the benefits of the dynamic range, right? Like with Kerry Walken, it's still protecting the sky, but it elevates the grass a little bit more. I think they're both supposed to be 13.5 stops of dynamic range, but
It's a little better. Yes, it is. But at the end of the day, we do have that square sensor, which makes a huge difference.
for all you FPV pilots out there, we can shoot unstabilized and then stabilize it out with gyro flow so that you have custom control over how you want to stabilize. So in the 1x1 aspect ratio, where we're maximizing the sensor, we are, I believe, limited to 60 frames per second. So not super slow-mo, but
we're recording the whole sensor, so it makes sense. That was nice. So that's at 60 frames per second. So now I'm gonna go into 120 frames per second, and I'm in the 4K 4x3. I'm also gonna split screen it with the Action 5 so we can kind of compare, see if there's any difference there. Now onto the 240 frames per second in 1080p, the lower resolution.
Actually, I've never seen my swing before.
It's almost like great analysis, isn't it? Like when I would throw a baseball, in my head, I look just like Yamamoto, like, and then I look back at the pitch.
More like Yama no.
So still got good slow-mo. Nothing too different from before, I think, though. Oh, look at this. There's also an option to connect wireless earbuds. And I happen to have the new AirPods, so I don't know, maybe the sound quality wouldn't be awful. All right, so I have these earbuds connected now. How does it sound? If it sounds pretty good, that would actually be awesome. I know in the past when I've tried this, the sound quality was just awful. Like clearly awful, like not even close awful. Now by default, if I shoot in square, you'll notice these black boxes in the corner, which kind of makes sense. I mean, the lens is a circular projection and the sensor square, so that's probably the edges of the lens, but I do have the option to hide the crop grid, which seems to crop in a tiny bit, and now I don't have any of those boxes in the corner. And now I've gone ahead and turned on horizon balancing, so I should be able to turn the camera upside down and the footage should still look fine, and we're gonna go all the way around. So yeah, you don't have to crop in as much for horizon balancing. Kind of nice, because then I don't have to really care too much about making sure the camera's level. I just hold it however. Now, of course, we're gonna want this macro lens for the best minimum focus distance, right? But I feel like DJI has done a good job putting relatively large sensors in these cameras while maintaining pretty good minimum focus distance. So how does it look? I'm probably like a foot and a half right now. But also we have a variable aperture. And at first I wasn't sure if it was going to make using this camera maybe a little bit more complex, but honestly, everything just kind of works in the background. Everything's very automatic. So if I go into like super night mode, it'll just open up to f2.0, give me the most amount of light possible. And also apparently it detects when it needs more depth of field, you know, a better minimum focus distance, then it will close down to f4. Now I know f2 and f4 doesn't sound like much, but it's actually a full stop in each direction, meaning when you open up to an f2, like in super night mode, that's double the light.
Now they also claim a 4-hour battery life, but of course that means setting it to full HD, turning off the screen, the Wi-Fi, all that stuff that I'm not trying to do. So real world, I'm getting still 3 hours of battery life in 4K 1x1, which is ridiculously good.
It's still going, guys.
Really? Oh my god. That was in 4K 24. Now 30 frames per second, or set the bitrate to high. It lasted about 2.5 hours. Still really good. I mean, that was one of the things that really stood out to me with the Action 5 was how ridiculously good the battery life was. And it does appear to be the same exact battery that we had in the 5, so interchangeable. So nice not having to carry around extra batteries, especially if you're just out for a few hours. If we look at it next to the previous 5, it is tiny bit bigger. If you can see, it's honestly barely noticeable, but just slightly bigger, so it won't fit in like the same cages or whatnot. But also no red, which I like. It's a little bit sleeker here, and also the way you open this up is slightly different. You know, before it was like this button. They did also update the mount and bottom right here so that it can magnetically attach and kind of click in both directions. So does that mean the previous version of the Action 5 is no longer compatible with this? Well, it just magnetically fights it a little bit, right? It's kind of hard to see on the camera, but if I just kind of wrestle it in a little bit, it's fine. It locks in, it's secure. Now, what if I take the new camera and put it into an older mount? It still kind of does the same thing where it kind of wrestles it a little bit, but I feel like it's easier to put the new camera on the older one, a little less magnetic wrestling, but using the new camera with the new mount, it definitely wants to attach, and you just kind of click it in. All right, so finally time for my favorite and least favorite things about this Action 6, and I'll go ahead and start with my complaints. Well, rather they're more features that I want. For example, I really like this macro lens, but sometimes it can be a little bit tough to tell if I'm actually in focus or not, because I'm trying to focus and I'm looking at a screen this big, or even the smaller screen up front. I'm just looking at this, right? I can ballpark it, but I have missed focus a few times, so my confidence level in the focus is a little bit off. If there was just some sort of tool like focus peaking or magnification or whatever, just to, you know, ensure that the focus is there, that would be nice. But overall, I'm really liking this macro lens. I love the idea that I could get some background blur on like an action camera. Also with this macro lens, I'm stuck in 4x3,
which is great. You know, that's what we used to have, but now I'm kind of spoiled with this 1x1, that extra reach in size, and with the macro lens on, it won't allow me to do that. I'm guessing it's because then you would see the edges of the lens, right? But you know, you could give us just like those square boxes in the corners. I'll take that. So maybe in a firmware update. But anyways, I'll go ahead and switch up back to the regular lens, drop the macro lens. This is an action camera we're dealing with, so should be fine. Now that I've removed the macro lens, I can come back out here to square world. I do kind of like how the square perfectly gets fit right there in the front screen. But notice I went ahead and turned on all the frame guides I can find on here. You know, you have your rule of thirds split and also some edge guides and whatnot. But what I really want is just a line for my 16:9 horizontal and 16:9 vertical. And I can't find that on here yet. So that's another thing that should be a very easy add. And my final complaint is when I'm using these awesome DJI Mic 3s, you can go ahead and adjust the audio levels right here. And notice I have it down already all the way, right? -12, and I can still clip. I'm still up. Oh, that was the best one. This is gonna be a good one. Yeah.
Then I know for a fact that this microphone could record much louder sounds, because if I download the 32-bit float internal audio out of here, I can basically scream into this microphone. So really, I wish this microphone could go further to like -20. You know, I would love to have this microphone like right here inside of my helmet and not have it clip. By the way, isn't this setup kind of cool right here? I think I'm gonna start doing this more thanks to the accessory mount on the Tribex tripod. Now moving on to my favorite things about the Action 6. Now, if you were to ask me before, what's your favorite action camera? I would have said the Action 5 for a couple different reasons. One, the insane battery life. And also we could pair two microphones wirelessly straight to the camera without any modules or accessories, which is freaking awesome. Accessories like the wide angle and now the macro and ND filter that we could slap on top of the lens so we don't have to unscrew anything. Top tier image quality. And now with the 6, we still maintain all of that, but of course with 1x1, the square. I mean, that's, I think, the big story here. We all want open gate in our mirrorless cameras, and then DJI just comes out and goes, we'll just give you a square. How about that? A full-on square. Like, I definitely have to get with the times more and start repurposing my videos for vertical, and square definitely makes me more open to that because I don't have to reshoot things twice. Either that or you're cropping in uncomfortably close to things and your composition never feels quite right. You know, like square, there's breathing room for both. Then from a technology standpoint, definitely the variable aperture is very impressive, and it kind of is now also opening the door to like, oh, you could have variable aperture action cameras. Like, that's cool. That's pretty much all I got for now. I better start packing because I'm heading to Portugal. If any of you have any travel tips for Lisbon, let me know, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.